Hey, just before we jump into the episode, I'm wondering if you're using Medic at your company, if you're an AE or a sales leader listening to this. I've implemented Medic 3 times when I was a VP of sales, and now I help sales organizations implement Medic with their teams. I've got a free deal scorecard that you can basically evaluate and score your opportunities using the MedPick framework to see where you've got gaps, where there's risk in your forecast, so that you can identify them and do something about it and mitigate that risk. So if you want to get a copy of that, head over to the website. There'll also be a link in the show notes. Go to therevenueenabler.com. You'll see there's a drop down called the Learning Hub. There's a button called the Downloads. When you go there, you're looking for the MedPick deal score sheet. You can get instant access to that, as well as other things like the What We've Heard slide, my ghosting playbook, cold call scorecard, story builder, AI sales assistant, and so much more. So head over to therevenueenabler.com, go check out the Learning Hub and our downloads, and let's jump into the episode now. All right, guys, so in today's episode, I've got a mini one for you here. I want to talk to you about path to success. This is costing account executives deals, and for some people, they don't even know it's happening. So I want to explain this for you, okay? So what is it and why you should use it? Well, let's first talk about what it isn't. It's not a traditional mutual action plan. Some organizations, some people listening to this will be using a mutual action plan. And look, they're better than not using anything. But the problem is most of the time, 90% of the time when I look at them, if not higher, 99% of the time, they end at red lines completed, contract signature done, whatever it might be, right? And that's great because from your perspective, you need to forecast the deal and you care about getting deals signed. And that's when it ends for you. The problem is for your buyer, for the champion, the economic buyer, that's when it really starts. Yes, it starts like earlier in the evaluation process, but they now need to start implementing and actually solving the problem that you're setting out to help them solve. So the reason I love path to success is you actually start to plot when they'll go live, when they'll start to get their payback, their money back, and then when will they get value. And that might be increasing the win rate, reducing their employee turnover, releasing products to market faster to, have that competitive advantage, whatever it might be. And you need to be able to demonstrate, like, if you can, in a line, in a journey, when that will happen, so that when they're looking at your business case, they're like, hey, I need to deliver this objective to the business by the end of the year. I can either spend this $100,000 on this one with you, or I can spend this $100,000 over here who's made it really clear that I'm going to get value in 3 months or 4 months. There's this big unknown with yours because there's no clarity on that. Okay. And salespeople, like our job, I talk about it in the Champion Playbook all of the time, my new book. Our job is to identify, qualify champions, sure. But our job then is to enable them to go and get kind of money created. I call it like decision enablement. These are little tools that we can use to enable economic buyers to say yes when they might say no and you guys lose a deal. So it's not a mutual action plan. It's a path to success. When should you use it? I get this question all of the time. Some people say like middle of the sales process. I'm a big fan of a lot of this stuff as early as possible. Not to like create admin for everybody, but just clarity. And it's also a great qualification tool. So if it's like, hey, Sarah, when do you need to start realizing this value by? What would that value look like? What percentages do things need to improve by? And they can't answer it. That could be an indication. It could be a red flag that it's not important. And you should maybe frame a way out and like a push-pull and see if they go for it or not. Also, our job is to obviously guide them, right? So I'm not saying like if they can't answer it, it's a dead deal. But if this was a really big problem, they would know some of this stuff because they're probably talking about it a lot in internal meetings, right? So I think get this up on screen on a discovery call. I like to break discovery calls into thirds. So the first 10 minutes is my PRI framework, problem, root, cause, impact. Second, third is around like storytelling, inspiring them to change, selling the differentiation gap, connecting that back to business outcomes, like making them basically think, hey, I want to learn more. Sounds like a really good solution. And then the final third is people, process, price, conditioning, and next steps. That people and process part, this is a great tool for that because you can start to say, hey, here's a template of how other VPs of marketing typically go through the process with us and when they start to unlock value. What's wrong in here in terms of your business, or what's missing, or what should we work on together next and why? Where are the bottlenecks? That kind of stuff. I want to start qualifying, but also influencing decision process, paper process, on that onboarding process, so that we can start to actually bring this business case together. Because for all we know, the demo, we might get the economic buyer turn up, and we're unaware of that. They just randomly accept the meeting invite 2 minutes before the meeting happens, or they just jump on the call and we're not prepared. And we want to have our best, best foot forward as many times as we physically can. Okay. So how to use it? Like I just mentioned, really, really simple. Jump on a call, share your screen, Google Doc, Word document, or if you're using some sales software for this, that as well. And just basically go through, like, hey, so this is where we are today. Our goal is, as we agreed, is we want to go here next. So we're doing a demo today. The goal next is to be able to do a group demo. What do we need to achieve from your side today to make sure this is a great conversation and we're confident to move to that stage? We need to do this, this, and this. Okay, great. That's part of my plan. I'll now execute that. And at the end, I'll get validation. Should we progress to the next stage or not? That kind of thing. So you can use it to like guide you through the process. But also if there's like accountabilities, like let's say we're in that business case creation or paper process stage and there's lots of these different things that need to be done, infosec, red lines, etc. Then I'm going to jump on the call and be like, hey, last time we spoke, we're at this stage, we need to go here next. I mentioned I was going to do these 3 things. Here they are. I emailed them over this morning. You mentioned that you was going to do this 2 things and make this introduction. How did you get on with that? I didn't see an intro email hit my inbox. Were you able to find that person? And like, again, it just holds everybody true, keeps them honest, stays on the mission. And if you think about a champion, like champions want you to be successful. By nature, they have like a vested interest in your success. That might be a promotion, commission, pay rise, internal reputation. It could just mean that they get to finish work at 5 p.m. every day and go spend time with their kids or go to the gym or go play tennis or whatever it is, right? So these people are happy and prepared to jump on a call and go through this with you. They want you to be successful because they have something to gain. So don't be afraid to do this stuff. This is like elite level. If you want to stay average, completely ignore this podcast. If you want to go from an average seller where you occasionally hit target to an elite seller where you crush target every single quarter and you don't just hit it, you exceed targets and you're getting promoted, getting big pay rises, etc., then this is the 1 or 2% that you can implement every day that will make you a better seller and be more successful and have a lot more fun when you're out selling. So hope this was helpful. If you want any of this content, by the way, I teach all of this in the Sales University. There's 400 lessons across the entire sales process with AI tools, resources, enablement content, etc. So if you want a free trial, check it out for 7 days. There's absolutely no cost. And then if you do like it, there's a small fee to upgrade. And we've got hundreds of people that use it and loads of video success stories. So yeah, I hope this was a helpful episode and I look forward to speaking to you and hearing from you on a future episode. If you want us to talk about something, by the way, on these episodes, then let me know. Like I'm just talking about stuff that I'm teaching with sales organizations and with sales teams this week or over the last few weeks, and just making an assumption that everybody else wants to talk about it. If you want me to talk about cold calling next, or outbound email, or direct mail, or running a better demo, or building a better business case, or implementing or using MedPick more effectively in your sales process to win more customers, whatever it might be, if it's about maybe, getting a new job, getting promoted, maybe if you're a manager, running a better one-to-one or onboarding your salespeople better, just send me a DM on LinkedIn or a WhatsApp. Like I'd much rather put content out that you want to listen to. So don't hesitate to reach out and be like, hey, I love the episode, love the podcast. Can we talk about this next? Can I even come on the episode with you? That'd be cool as well. If not, just send me an idea and I'll pull some content together and push out an episode for you. So yeah, look forward to seeing you in another episode of the Hit Your Numbers podcast soon. All right, thanks for listening to this episode. I've got something else I want to give you before we wrap up here. So we've built the leading skill optimization platform with 400 plus sales lessons, 12 courses from prospecting all the way through to late stage deal negotiation and more, one-to-one sales coaching and AI sales assistance. And I want to give you 7 days free access to the platform. The reason I want to do this is because nobody gets a degree in B2B sales. And after training and coaching hundreds of sales reps and teams in the last 2 years, most haven't mastered critical selling skills. And it's preventing them from being promoted, earning great money and building a great career in B2B sales. So go to therevenueenabler.com, grab a free trial and join hundreds of salespeople that are closing their skill gaps and mastering sales. There's a link in the video description. I'm looking forward to getting you set up. Give me a shout with any questions.